Welcome to Inner Power. Today we're tackling a concept that's often misunderstood, the myth of self-improvement. In a world that's obsessed with constant growth, productivity, and becoming the best version of ourselves, we're bombarded with messages that tell us we're never good enough as we are. But what if I told you that the idea of endless self-improvement might actually be holding you back? In this video, we're going to break down why the pursuit of constant self-betterment can sometimes be a trap, and how you can find a healthier approach to personal growth. Stick around for insights that may just change the way you view self-improvement. The self-improvement industry and its flaws. Let's start by looking at the self-improvement industry itself, which is worth billions of dollars. From self-help books to motivational seminars and online courses, we are constantly told that there's something wrong with us and that we need to buy into the next program, product, or method to fix it. While personal growth is important, the underlying message is often the same. You're not enough as you are, and you'll only be happy when you reach some future version of yourself. The truth is, this mindset can create a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. The more you buy into the idea that you need to be constantly improving, the more you reinforce the belief that who you are right now isn't good enough. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, frustration, and even burnout. Self-improvement can become a perfectionist trap. One of the biggest myths of self-improvement is that there's some ideal version of yourself you need to achieve. Whether it's becoming the fittest, most productive, or most successful person you can be, the idea is that you're constantly in a state of becoming, never quite arriving. This can be exhausting because there's always another goal, another habit to form, or another skill to master. For perfectionists, this mindset can be especially harmful. They set impossibly high standards for themselves, constantly striving for perfection and feeling disappointed when they don't measure up. Self-improvement, in this case, becomes a never-ending chase for an unattainable goal, leaving people stuck in a cycle of self-criticism. Actionable tip: instead of striving for perfection, focus on progress. Celebrate the small wins, and recognize that growth doesn't mean reaching some flawless version of yourself, but rather embracing who you are while making gradual improvements. The myth of constant productivity. Another common aspect of the self-improvement myth is the obsession with productivity. We're often told that to be successful, we need to be constantly optimizing every aspect of our lives, hustling harder, working smarter, and squeezing every ounce of efficiency out of each day. While productivity can be valuable, this mindset can lead to burnout and a sense of always being behind. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth by how much you've achieved or how busy you are. But life isn't just about ticking boxes or reaching the next milestone. If your happiness is always tied to future accomplishments, you'll never feel satisfied in the present. Tip for balance: take time to enjoy the moment and recognize that your worth isn't dependent on how productive you are. Balance productivity with rest, play, and relaxation, and understand that life is about more than constant achievement. The comparison trap. A big problem with the self-improvement movement is the pressure to compare yourself to others. Social media in particular fuels this comparison game, where you're constantly bombarded with images of other people's highlight reels. It can feel like everyone else is improving faster, achieving more, or living a better life than you. This creates a toxic cycle of self-comparison, where you're always trying to measure up to someone else's standards or accomplishments. The truth is, you're on your own journey, and comparing yourself to others only distracts you from focusing on what really matters: your own growth at your own pace. Action step: unplug from social media or limit your exposure to it. Focus on your own path and understand that everyone's journey is different. The goal isn't to compete with others, but to grow in a way that feels meaningful to you. The reality of self-acceptance. Here's the thing: self-improvement is often framed as a way to fix yourself. But what if there's nothing inherently wrong with you? Instead of focusing on constant improvement, what if you shifted your mindset towards self-acceptance? Self-acceptance doesn't mean you stop growing or striving for betterment, but it does mean recognizing that you are enough as you are right now. You don't need to be fixed, and your worth isn't determined by how much you achieve or improve. When you approach self-growth from a place of acceptance rather than lack, you're more likely to grow in a healthy and sustainable way. Tip for practice: start by practicing self-compassion. When you fall short or face challenges, instead of being harsh on yourself, offer yourself kindness. Remember that growth comes from a place of self-love, not self-criticism. Growth without the pressure. So, does this mean you shouldn't strive for personal growth? Of course not. Growth is essential, but it's important to pursue it in a way that's healthy and sustainable. True growth happens when you're motivated by curiosity, passion, and self-compassion, not by the pressure to constantly improve or fix yourself. The myth of self-improvement tells us we need to be in a state of constant transformation. But the truth is, growth comes in cycles. There will be times when you're making significant progress, and there will be times when you need to rest, reflect, and simply be. It's okay to take breaks, to slow down, and to not be in a constant state of becoming. Finding a healthier approach to self-improvement. So how can you take a healthier approach to self-improvement? First, focus on growth that aligns with your values and passions, rather than external expectations. Instead of trying to meet some idealized version of yourself, aim for growth that feels meaningful to you. Second, practice self-compassion along the way. Growth isn't linear, and setbacks are a natural part of the process. When you approach personal development with kindness and patience, you'll find that you're more resilient and more likely to sustain long-term growth. Lastly, remember that self-improvement is not a race. There's no finish line, and there's no need to constantly push yourself to be better. Sometimes the best form of self-improvement is simply learning to enjoy who you are in the present moment. The myth of self-improvement tells us that we're never enough as we are, but that's simply not true. Real growth comes from balancing self-acceptance with healthy personal development. If you're tired of chasing an idealized version of yourself, it's time to rethink how you approach self-improvement. Focus on progress, not perfection, and remember to be kind to yourself along the way. If you found this video helpful, make sure to check out our video on how being bored can actually help you. Until next time, thanks for watching.